Hey everybody, hope you're having a great weekend. Thought I'd do a real quick update. As you can see, I finally got my castings. I shouldn't say finally, they were pretty quick for going from 1 to 6. AJ Catalano, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, did a fantastic job. These casts turned out great. They're nice and crisp. They go together wonderfully. I'm going to have to do some mods to get the display to fit, but that was to be expected. The supplemental parts needed a bit of cleaning up, and I believe this was the one that must have had the torn mold. AJ warned me about that and kind of asked for a little extra time, which again, I think, all things considered, I got these things incredibly fast, so good job, AJ, thank you very much. The anomaly or the problem with the mold really didn't affect the quality of the parts. There was just a little bit of a problem here on the view screen, I believe, which I'm still debating on whether I'm going to use that or not. The ongoing problem has been fitting the electronics into the internal volume of this prop, and it's not a fault of anybody's model. It's just the prop is a size that dictates what I can fit in there and what I can't. And when you're using something that was never really intended for this particular purpose, you've got to live with the ramifications. In my case, it's a screen that, as you can see here, let me move this off. I'll be right back. I'm going to clean up my bench here for a second. Okay, I'm back. Bench a little cleaner. As I was saying, the problem with using anything that was not really designed for this is you've got to live with how it's designed. And what I've come to realize is this is just too wide to fit inside of here no matter what I do. But I did find that by trimming, and I went in and double checked because there are some components here that had me concerned, but fortunately the one capacitor is related to the headphone jack, not using headphones, so that can go away. A small resistor here is part of the push to talk button, which is here. Well, fortunately they have two test points on the back here, which are these same contact, same potential on the circuit, sorry there. So I'll be relocating it a little further in on the circuit board, and I'll be taking about a 0.15 inch chunk off of here using my handy dandy X-Acto blades. I've got a couple of different ones just to score a line, and then I'll go down and actually do the cut. I'll also be cutting these mounting holes again to give me a little bit more room. I'll be sanding about 50 thousandths off of this side, and on the first unit that I did, which is my sacrificial pair, it worked really good. I get it down to 2 inches, and 2 inches will work fine. I'll get rid of this mounting point. Not going to need that. I'll have to come up with a different way to close this thing off, but don't think that'll be a big deal. The second problem is the display. In the show, they used, I believe it was a 1.5 CRT, and it has an aspect ratio approximately of 4 to 3, and everything today pretty much is 16.9 or some variant of that, and this is no different. So what I'm going to be doing here, and this is the part where you guys might want to really reconsider doing this, but if you want to, definitely would be worth your while. You have to remove the bezel, and hold on, I'll be right back because I thought I had everything here, but I don't. Be right back. Okay, so these two cards here, which is from my sacrificial radios, when you do stuff like this, you got to expect to encounter some unforeseen conditions, failures, whatever you want to call them. It's always good to have spares of anything that you're doing electronic that you can then go in and use to do your planning. So this one here has had the cut made in it. I've also jumpered on the headphones because the headphone jack will disable the push-to-talk if it's sensed, so this circuit has to be closed. I've relocated the resistor, and on the other side, where did it go? Oh yeah, I've also taken the microphone off, and it's going to be moved to the front in this grill, in the grill area. I'm going to be hogging this material out mainly because I need it for, in a second here, let me show you. Oh, and it looks like I've got a thin point. Yeah, he touched up the casting there, so that's good. That works out good for me. What I plan on doing is, oh, I'm sorry, did I show you? No, let's focus on the display, sorry. What I have to do to get the display, oops, to fit in here, as you can see, it's going to be tight. So what I did was I removed the plastic bezel, and that gets me down to this size, a little bit smaller. Now I use some Kapton tape to keep the backlight assembly in place, and right now, as she sits, once you get the flex circuit in there, it fits, but not as well as I want to. So what I'm going to do, and my whole goal here is to keep this thing as accurate to the prop as possible. So what I've got to do here is I'll open this material up where the grill sits, and it will allow me to let this flex circuit and the extension of the display to kind of occupy that room. So again, bringing it a little bit further forward. I don't mind if the display gets cut, because the only thing that's going to be in the display is what's within the camera's view. And the camera, I'll probably fold around the corner and have it reside up here in the corner of the LCD display, out of the way. When I turn this on, there's a PIP that shows your view, and then the bulk of the display is the received signal. I don't care about seeing what my camera's picking up, so if the camera blocks that particular PIP, that's even better, because then I'm not wasting any or losing any screen area. So future videos will show my cutting this out and getting it into position, seeing if I'm going to use the bezel that comes with this model, because it is very nicely done, but a little bit bulkier than what I think I really want to have. And again, puts the display a lot further back. Got plenty of time to decide whether I want to do that or not. We'll just see. We'll just see as we go along. So, wanted to do a quick update. Sorry for the helter-skelter, but I've got so many things going on that I'm not as well focused, if I ever am, on the video. But this is probably the riskiest part of this mod so far. So, and it's turned out well. I'm surprised how well I was able to keep the quality of the backlight. I'll show this in operation a little bit later, and as I said, with the flex circuit the way it is, I should be able to stick this camera head in a corner of the display and fold it back behind, and then fold off the display, I mean the ribbon, I'm sorry, the flex harness appropriately to get it to hook up. So that should work out really good. So stay tuned. Hopefully this is something you guys might want to do. Of these, I may, I'm not even going to say that. So anyways, stay tuned and wish me luck. Have a great day. Bye.